Welcome to Stream of Conscious Podcast. I am Joel.
Spicy meatball cocks.
This is Joe, VHS Stout.
Nice. I like it because it makes me old school and I'm rewindable.
What am I doing, Joe?
You jumped on this bandwagon. You were one of them. I thought only the kids had fidget spinners, but as it turns out, you got one too. Now, is that like a legit fidget spinner, or is that like one of the knockoff ones?
I have no clue. I was at the air show, and they had them for $2.
They are for $2. That's a knockoff one, but it spins nice.
Yeah.
My kids have a bajillion of these at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they start off really decent, and then they start slowing down.
Yeah, it's the bearings.
So what I started doing was taking the good ones, and because they have the middle fidget spinner part, and then they have the ones on the outside, and I'm taking the ones, popping them out of the outsides, and putting them in the middle of the crappy ones. Mm-hmm. So I'm swapping them out on them.
There's a thing.
They spin better.
I guess the guys frame on with the 3D printer now. You print the case, you put the magnet in. So, I think I might do that. All right.
Where do you buy? Can you get like just a?
Yeah, you can buy ball bearings.
They remind me of like the things for roller skates.
Yeah. Well, the one I went to a convention back in May, and the guy I had one of these. I bought a light up one. Well, first I bought a regular one because after your kid came to the tacos one night, I bought.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I bought one because I get them because I get in meetings. I have no issues.
Do you go to meetings? I like you just threw out. You go to meetings. Like, do you go to meetings for people who use fidget spinners?
No,
Is this like
I go to meetings at work.
An epidemic thing?
Now here's the thing: I can get 2 hours of sleep, get up the next morning, work out, dig a ditch, lay concrete, do all sorts of heavy physical activity, not feel tired at all. I can get 12 hours of sleep, go to a meeting, and within half an hour I want to fall asleep because I'm bored out of my mind. And I want to kill myself.
Right.
I hate meetings.
These are designed for people like you because you have. I'm not saying you have ADD.
I have ADD.
But you have ADD.
Yeah.
Right.
So I actually took one of these to a meeting one time. It was in front. I got the first one, and yeah, I bought a few finished spinners.
There's the little cube thing too, the clicky cube or the fidget cube.
That came out first.
Okay.
That's badass.
But like this to me, a fidget spinner to me is like the dumbest invention. Like I can't believe somebody thought I'm gonna put a little spinny thing on it, and it's just 3 little nubs with a spinner in the middle, and they're like, and I'm gonna market this and make money. Like if somebody would have told me that was their game plan, I would have talked them out of it. Like I'm the guy who would have, and I don't talk, and I'm one of those. I believe if you believe you can do it, you can do it, and you don't know if you try. And I'm always like very up on, like I have a few too many friends or people that I've worked with that are naysayers and like that's not going to work, and I don't buy into that, and I don't believe in that. But if somebody would have came to me and said that was their game plan, I would have been like, you're an idiot. But they're not. They're a bajillionaire probably at this point. Somebody probably made a ton of money. But you do see knockoffs of them all over the place. So I'm wondering if the guy who invented it really actually made any money, or if it's just one of those things that he didn't copyright it, or maybe the copyright was a loose copyright, like maybe it wasn't. So I'm wondering if he actually did make any money.
For me, it's something else to focus on in a meeting because I can't just sit on my phone or do other stuff. But if I have this on at the desk and I spin it and I try and keep it going,
it keeps you active and
it gives me something else to focus on other than the droning on of a meeting I shouldn't be in.
Right. No, but does it help you focus on the meeting better though?
Yeah.
Do you feel? I saw something.
I know that scientifically they don't do crap, but for me, like I like doing 2 things at once.
I think it's like how if you sit still long enough, you start tapping your foot, or you start bouncing your knee, or something like that. I think it's the equivalent of that.
The problem is, though, I've done that before, like tapping my foot, but then my leg gets tired. It's like, why are you doing this? Stop it.
No, right, but it gives you something to keep you active and keep you motivated into.
Like my friend Kristen, she'll knit during presentation stuff, so because she keeps her hands.
She's a 90-year-old woman, apparently.
Yeah. Basically, if she like knits while she's doing like stuff like that, she can focus better because she has something for her hands to do.
I get the concept behind that.
Yeah, but the thing is, for children, like there's like 3 and 4-year-olds who have these things who they can't do one thing right at a time, let alone spin a thing and pay attention.
I'll tell you what, my kids, they have them with them all
Like,
the time.
for
Like, they
me?
have not lost interest.
Like-
Yeah, you could. Well, I mean, I think that a lot of kids, it helps them stay focused
Yeah.
better. Like, it helps them sit still.
It depends on what the kid. It's not just any kid. It's not.
Well, everybody's different, and they're
Yeah.
all snowflakes or whatever, and that's yippee for that. But I do think that in a lot of ways, I think it helps kids stay concentrated. And I think some of the schools now are split on whether
Yeah.
or not to allow them into the school. I believe they're still allowed to have them at my kid's school. Well, up to the beginning of summer, they were
Mhm.
allowed to have them. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's one of those things that help kids stay focused. I want to say it was somewhere in Sweden or something. It was one of the European countries where they had one of the schools, the desks at the school, they put these like bicycle pedals on so that the kids could pedal while sitting at their desk. And they found the kids were more productive and more active and
I
stayed
need one of
focused
those.
better. Yeah.
I can charge my phone.
You wanted a, was it you that told me you wanted a standing desk or
Yeah.
a walking desk? They make a desk that has a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
You can put like your bicycle up to your desk. You can build them too.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at that. I actually wanted to make one of those ones because I think that would be awesome. That would help me stay focused too. Like I get that.
Mhm.
I could these fidget spinners. I played with my kids a couple times. Like I took theirs and I spun them and I went, okay, it is what it is, and I'm done with it. I have no desire to do it again. Like
Does that
just
look
let
like
me-
a dragon to you?
the
The cloud?
Yeah.
Does it look like a dragon?
A dragon head at the top.
This is you do have ADD. You really do have ADD. You're so lost in that one. It kind of does look like a little bit like a dragon.
the cloud outside the window looks like a dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at home. But I don't. Fidget spinner to me is no. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what my version of a fidget spinner is, but it's not a fidget spinner.
So what was the big fad when you were a kid?
I don't really remember there being like one. Like I grew up in a generation of, and we were poor too. So if there was something,
Yeah,
big,
but there's
we
something
didn't
you
have it.
wanted. What was it? I'm saying is, since you grew up poor, there had to be something you wanted, nobody else.
that I didn't get. Like
Cabbage Patch dolls, Tamagotchis, Tickle Me Elmo.
no, you know what was really big when it was Pogs. Pogs were kind of a big deal whenever I was young. I remember those. The pineapple orange drink, orange
Mhm.
juice or whatever they were.
Mhm.
They had all the different characters on them. That was big. We had like the cards, like Magic the Gathering cards was kind of like that's when it first came out. So like there was stuff like that, card games and stuff. But I mean, even that was like it was big in certain crowds and in certain areas. But I
Mhm.
was never really in that one. But like we didn't have like a Tickle Me Elmo or a fidget spinner or Nintendo. Nintendo was like that came out.
Yeah, but there wasn't like a demand that there were shortages though, weren't there?
What's that? Nintendo?
Yeah. Like I don't remember like there being a Nintendo shortage. Like Tickle Me Elmo, there was a shortage. The Cabbage Patch dolls, there were people murdering each other in the streets.
Yeah. Well, and fidget spinners too. When they first came out, you couldn't find them anywhere. People were going nuts. They would come in, and people were buying them in huge bulk just to turn around and resell them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, like I don't remember what there was that. I don't remember much of it because we had two things to play with whenever I was a kid. One was outside, and the other was your penis. That's all you were allowed to, and my mom only encouraged me to play with one of those things. So
And then when you were 21, you discovered about going outside.
yeah, that's whatever. One of those things I still play with on a regular basis.
So I went to Latrobe Air Show with my buddy Dwayne, who's a faithful listener. Shout out to Dwayne.
Hey, Dwayne.
Anyway, we were. Crap, lost my train of thought.
You went to the air show. You bought your fidget spinner.
Yeah.
You're totally lost.
Yeah.
ADD kicks in again.
Yeah.
You really,
Wow. That's
you
bad.
really do have a bad ADD.
I do.
I think you're focused on it now. Like you're hyperactive or hyper intent on your ADD because we brought attention to it. Was it you that wasn't allowed to have caffeine or something? Was that you? Was that you that wasn't allowed to
No,
have?
I was allowed to have
Someone
caffeine.
I know wasn't allowed to have.
They cut back
caffeine.
on my sugar intake whenever I was a kid, and that helped a lot.
Didn't hurt for sure. But all right, so you went to the air show. You and Dwayne went to the air show.
Yeah.
And I saw pictures on Facebook.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to sit in the Apache helicopter.
That's what I saw. Is you
Did you ever see the movie Firebirds with Nicolas Cage. He was a helicopter pilot and the one that followed the Apaches. It was an old movie from the 90s.
I remember of the movie, but I didn't see it. That's not the one where no, that's not the one. That's not what I'm thinking. Yeah, I was never a big Nicolas Cage fan. What do you remember like being the go-to toy when we were kids? Because you're like 2 minutes older than me. So you didn't really. Probably we grew up in
1990.
different generations. Or
Tommy Lee Jones is in it too, by the way.
Tommy Lee Jones is in everything.
Let's see. When I was a kid, well, Garbage Pail Kids was the big thing.
I remember Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah, that was Ninja Turtles.
G.I.
was
Joe,
really like.
Transformers.
I remember
He-Man.
Ninja Turtles really just being my whole being, my life. Like I was so obsessed with them. I had every toy. We used to. I mean, I would save and scrap together money to buy these toys. Like my mom wouldn't. Like anytime we had any kind of holiday or anything, I always asked for.
Cash.
No, or toys for the. I would want the Ninja Turtle toys, or I would ask for the money to buy whichever one I was missing. Because more often than not, like my aunts would go, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I would go, "Well, I want," and I would tell them like, "I want Usagi Yojimbo," and they'd be like, "I don't know what that means." And I'm like, "I want $5 to go buy myself a Usagi Yojimbo." But that was Ninja Turtles was definitely the biggest thing I remember from my childhood being like my encapsulating obsession. But in toys we used to play with action figures. Like I remember sitting on my floor playing with action figures. Like kids now, my kids they wouldn't even think to own an action figure. But that was like huge whenever I was a kid. Everybody had them. Now it's just all video games and stuff. Like they wouldn't. If I gave my kids an action figure, they would know. They would throw it in a pile with a bunch of their other junk. So that's. But Pogs were big, and there was a couple. I want to say there was like some other card something. Oh, X-Men. X-Men was another huge thing, but X-Men had, Marvel in general had the collectible cards, and every year they would come out with. I still have stacks of them.
I didn't know this happened.
They had like baseball cards, but for every single Marvel character. You okay?
Yeah.
I'm worried about you now.
I'm good.
For every single Marvel character, they had a different card, and every year they came out with new ones. And I had collections for years. I had a bunch of collections. I also collected the comic books. I had the Uncanny X-Men collection for I think I had 3 years worth of comic books, like straight. Like I had a subscription. I got them every single month. I didn't miss one, and I kept them. My room at the time was in the basement, and one summer, it was my first summer of college. Our basement flooded, and I lost probably thousands of dollars worth of comic books.
That sucks.
Yeah, and I also had a lot of those cards. And stuff. I still have some of the cards. Not all of those got destroyed, but pretty much every comic book I had got destroyed. I have a couple, but I don't have any of the X-Men ones anymore. I have like a John Carpenter of Mars comic book, and like a few other ones, an old Superman one or something that I don't, Gambit ones, but I don't. I lost just a ton of stuff with that. But yeah, that was the thing. Like I was collecting, not necessarily like we didn't have like play toys as much. Well, the Ninja Turtles I played with. But, yeah. So, but we didn't have. We did get a Nintendo. My older brother actually got a Nintendo. I wasn't allowed to play it. We had Atari 5200.
I don't know. I tried for years to get a Nintendo, and it never happened. Then my freshman year in high school, I said screw it, and I bought a Sega Genesis.
You had a Genesis before you had a Nintendo?
Yeah. Oh, I bought the Sega Genesis for my birthday.
Yeah, I did have a Sega Genesis later on.
Oh, so
My aunts always, like, a lot of my aunts didn't have kids. And my one aunt two of my aunts that did have kids, they were, one was a few years younger than me, and the other one was several years younger than me. So my aunts always kind of like, because I have a lot of aunts too, so not having kids, they had, and also they had good jobs and such, a lot of them.
tons of money.
So they had some expendable income. So we did get things occasionally, but my mom never got us anything because my mom couldn't afford to pay rent and buy groceries, let alone step up to get us a Nintendo or something. So anytime we got something, it was always from my aunts, and it was usually like we got stuff on Christmas, and then you spent the rest of the year just wanting things.
Mhm. I think once I started working, I just bought what I wanted. It was great. I was doing freelance work for like 2005 till probably like 2012. Oh, 2009, 2011 was when stuff started cranking down. I remember I bought an Xbox 360. I bought a HD TV. I bought a surround sound system. Like, I felt like I made it rain at Best Buy sometimes.
Wait, in 2005, you were 27 years old, though.
Yeah, but I was actually making decent money doing freelance work.
Okay. But that's not the same as buying something when you were a kid. You still think of yourself as a kid at 27. That's only because you're almost 40 now.
I don't know. It just seemed like once I got to the
Are
point.
you 39 now?
Yeah.
You're 39, wow. I mean, I'm 37, so it's not
Mhm.
like... I'm not that far behind you.
Dwayne was telling me how with Nintendo, now that the hipsters are all buying the cartridges, they're like $40-$50 now.
Yeah.
And like, that's just not right.
I know we've
Cartridge.
talked about this on the show before, but I remember like we were at Steel City Con.
Yeah.
And
I told him that story.
you bought a stack
Uh-huh.
of the games, and the guy like was just handing them to you. He was just happy to be rid of them because you were like, how much for these 3? And it was like $1 or whatever it was.
How
And
much
then
a
you
20
like,
give
you
me?
took like the whole stack, and you're like, how much for these? How much can I get for $10 or something? And the guy just like gave you a garbage bag full or whatever. But I don't know where those even are. Like we had them. That's not something I would have thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't recall seeing them since then. So I'm kind of curious as to whatever went down with those ones.
Some crackhead broke into your house and stole them.
Maybe. That's in my neighborhood. That's a possibility.
So that's a possibility.
If I run across them, I bet we could sell them for a ton. Excite Bike's probably worth a pretty penny at this point.
Mm-hmm. They all are.
What other games did you play though as a kid?
Oh, you mean games or fads?
Sure, whatever.
See, games, Mortal Kombat, Sonic the Hedgehog. I told the story about him, but Scott would always let me games that weren't his. By the time I got into them, I had to give them back. Shining
You did tell me
Force. Shadowrun, that was a big game I loved playing.
Shadowrun?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that one.
It was a sci-fi game.
What was the one that we used to play in college all the time?
Oh, Burnout Paradise? No, not Burnout.
No,
Need
we're-
for Speed.
Need for Speed. Need for Speed and Castlevania.
Yeah.
Those are the two. we
Team
always played.
Castlevania.
We played those all the
For
time.
those who don't know, Castlevania came out for the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, and we decided it's easier to play these games in teams. So one guy would run the controller, one guy would read the map, one guy would read the strategy guide, one guy would keep an eye on the spells, on what combination needed to be done, and another guy would keep track of hit points. So when we were fighting bosses and stuff, we could actually figure out how to beat it.
we had a system to it.
Mm-hmm.
I never played much. Like I was always in the room when it went down, but I was always like in the background. Like it was like I wasn't good enough to actually play the game.
You watch the health hit points every now and then.
Every so often, when there was nobody else around, I was allowed to hold a controller for a couple minutes, or I was told to watch hit points, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I would got kicked off the team.
No one's leaving this room until we beat this monster. You escaped and you came back and you got stuck in the room again.
It wasn't like I was going to class.
That's hilarious because it's like 11 o'clock at night. It's like, we almost got it this time. What are we going to do? Stick and move, stick and move.
Sweep the leg. What else do we have on our list? We have a whole big slew of... Did we talk about the CNC machine?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. What else do you got?
Well, that was in the art one, wasn't it?
Well, maybe we did.
Yeah, I think we did. Fads, fidget spinners. What was your favorite cartoon growing up?
Ninja Turtles. Straight back to Ninja Turtles. They actually, now the new Ninja Turtles is out. It's not bad, but since I have that preconceived notion of what the Ninja Turtles are,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of don't like it. What did you think about the Ninja Turtle movie? Did we talk about this?
The first
I'm
one?
certain we did, about how Michael Bay he just takes everything from my childhood and craps on it.
The first?
The first Ninja Turtle movie, I didn't like the way they made them look.
Yeah, I didn't like the way they made it look. I didn't like that they were bulletproof.
Yeah, that was weird.
And the second one, They built the laws of time and space. Like, they're flying down to South America to get that thing. The other guys left a day ahead of time, and they got there just in time.
Do you know what, though? I like the second one about 100 times better than the first one.
Yeah, I like the second one better.
They finally brought back Bebop and Rocksteady.
Mm-hmm.
And that was huge for me. I love that they did that, because that was the first time you saw them since the cartoons. And putting them, even though I didn't think, it wasn't like they were great as characters in the movie, it was just the nostalgia of having them. I love that. I like that they brought them back. But I overall, the movie took all the things they did wrong in the first one and tried, even though it didn't do great, it tried to fix them.
Even though they had Johnny Knoxville in there?
What's that?
Even though they had Johnny Knoxville as a turtle?
Johnny Knoxville was a turtle?
I believe so.
Seriously? How did I miss that? I like that they brought back the Shell Razor, the van there, the turtle wagon. And bringing Krang in was good. Like, that was a smart move. And I think they set themselves up really nice for another movie if they're going to do better with the next movie. But all in all, it was they made it less crappy.
Yeah, he was Leonardo.
He was Leonardo?
But apparently he's on the second.
Johnny Knoxville was the voice of Leonardo?
That's 2014 the first one came out?
That sounds about right. 14 and 16? I think they were about 2.
But he was in the second one, so maybe...
Was he in the first? He was in the first and the second?
He was in the first. I don't see him in the second.
In the original movies, too, like the ones back in the 80s, and I think some of them, I think the last one went into the 90s, they changed the voices. Every movie was different people doing the voices for the most part. I think the guy who played Leonardo might have been in the first and the fourth, or the first and the third. But they changed up the voices all
Those movies got worse as the time went on. Because they're too violent, so they had to take all the violence out.
That's right, they took all the weapons out of the second one. You don't see... I think they used the nunchucks once or twice or something. But they weren't allowed to use the sai or the swords, the katanas. But yeah, I do remember that now you said that. But they were Ninja Turtles, like you're supposed to have. But there was different times back in the 80s. Now you kids watch movies, it's rated PG and somebody's head explodes in it. Like, you're allowed to put your kids in that environment now, apparently. What other movies that they remade?
Transformers.
I did not. That's another one.
I'm actually okay with it because here's my thing. The cartoon was built to sell the toy. You had a good robot, you had a bad robot. They fought each other. And that's exactly what they do in the movies.
Yeah, but here's what and they do this with a lot of
Now,
movies.
here's where they go through the line. They're going to make Optimus Prime a fire truck. And people lost their crap.
Well, he's not supposed to be a fire truck.
No.
He's supposed to be a semi.
But people lost their crap, and it didn't happen, so all is good.
I'm glad that was something that they... Well, the same with, like, the Ninja Turtles. He was going to make them aliens. Instead of making them mutated turtles, they were supposed to be aliens. And that... People went wild over that and made a fit, so he changed it. What do you think about this new one with the Transformers, but the dinosaur... What are they called? The
Dinobots.
Dinobots.
I am so excited.
Really?
Grimlock was one of my favorites. And I've watched every trailer for this new movie, and I can't wait.
I think Mark Wahlberg is better than that movie. I don't think that he should be in a Transformers movie.
Why not?
I think he's a better actor than this movie's going to be. That's why. I truly
Okay. You want to go there?
No, well, okay, go ahead, yeah.
If that's your argument, then why?
If you say Ted, I'm going to say I think he's a better actor than Ted, too.
No.
Mark Wahlberg's been in some movies that he should not have been in.
I forgot. I can't remember. I can't say the guy's name. I know the face, but when I say the name, you're gonna tell me he's not better than this.
It's in Transformers?
Yeah, give me a second.
All right, you go do your thing. In the meantime, I don't think... I think that the movie has potential, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. And I really didn't like it a lot.
You're telling me that Anthony Hopkins is not better than Transformers 5?
Wait, Anthony Hopkins is in Transformers?
Yes.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
What
Are you kidding me?
No.
Anthony Hopkins should absolutely not be in this
Yes,
movie.
he should.
No.
We need the gravity of Anthony Hopkins in Transformers.
Is he at least like a voice of someone, or
No,
is
he is-
he's legitimately in the
He's
movie?
an old guy talking about the history of Transformers.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
Here.
How dare you, sir?
We'll watch the trailer.
I just don't. Here's what bugs me about it is the Transformers are not supposed to be on planet Earth. Like, you do not need to put people on it. Transformers live on their own planet in their own
Did
world.
you not see the cartoon?
I did. It wasn't on Earth.
Yes, it was.
I don't remember that. Maybe I need to
Started
watch it.
as a legend. One of the greatest of all. 1,000 years
Oh,
we've kept it hidden
is he a knight?
No,
to protect her
he's like a
from what was destined
caretaker.
to arrive.
So he's like somebody who lives forever type thing? Is
No.
he at least mythical?
No, he's just a guy.
He's Odin in this
Secret
one.
inside. My maker.
Okay. So, alright, so Optimus Prime is back.
Yeah.
Are all of them back? Is it them
Well-
and the Dinobots?
Yeah.
Now, is that the way it was in the cartoon, or the Dinobots were all separate?
The Dinobots were created after they got to Earth. And, they were too dangerous to be used because they weren't controllable that easily. But for some reason they decided to give them a chance, and they saved the day a couple times. But in the later episodes, Grimlock's the only one that shows up.
See, I don't remember them ever being on Earth.
They were on Earth for most of it.
Okay, so I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, you're wrong.
I'm okay with being wrong.
You, Carl Sanders, you're wrong. But, like, Anthony Hopkins is like some caretaker of the knowledge about the Transformers being on Earth forever. So,
Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. But I just... It seems like a weird thing for Mark Wahlberg to be in. But also, I think it looks cool, but I don't...
the point.
don't expect...
it's supposed to look cool. We got the special effects. We got Michael Bay to blow things up.
I hate Michael Bay!
How can you hate Michael Bay?
If he's one of my free kills. If we're allowed to kill people, at some point if they go, you have a list of...
I will defend Michael Bay.
You can defend Michael Bay. What has he done that's decent?
Bad Boys 2.
You got me there. Touche. Well played.
And I'm just going off of, like, let's see what else.
Okay, Armageddon.
Did you like
Another great
Armageddon?
movie. I did like Armageddon.
Okay, are we saying producer or director?
Either way. You know what? No, because he's done a lot of good movies. He did.
Okay.
Pirates of the Caribbean was another one that he was involved in. He produced that, I think.
Okay. How'd you feel about Pearl Harbor? I never saw it.
Great movie.
The Rock.
You know what though? I think that was overrated, but it was a good movie, but it was not a great movie. Are these ones he produced or ones he directed?
These are ones he directed.
He's directed a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Holy
I'm
cow.
gonna go back to producer because I know he produced a lot of stuff.
Alright, so maybe he's just slipped recently and started doing terrible things with movies.
Well, apparently there's Bad Boys 4 is announced.
And we will watch that.
The Purge 4 is announced. Well, it's in pre-production.
When's Bad Boys 4 coming out?
2019.
We're going to see it. Because that's our jam. That and anything Vin Diesel's in. Oh my god, dude. So, Fast and the Furious was on TV the other day.
Which one?
1 and 2, back to back, they played them. And I was watching, it was at my brother's house. I was there for a little bit. And I started watching it, and I forgot how terrible those movies are. They're so
They're
bad.
amazing.
They're amazingly horrible is what they are. Watching it again now was like, it was like having my teeth pulled. It was going to the dentist for me. It was so bad. Like,
See,
I didn't remember it being that bad,
I
and
love them.
didn't want to
Now,
admit that
my
they were that
issue
terrible.
with the first couple Fast and Furious, they're obsessed with undercover cops. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, I thought was amazing because it was about a kid who wanted to street race and climbing to the top of the food chain. That's what I wanted for my Fast and Furious.
I don't remember. I saw a little bit of the first one, but I didn't watch the whole thing of Tokyo Drift. It was one of those ones I started watching and I kind of lost interest and I never came back to it.
4 was when Vin Diesel came back. and then the Paul Walker and
Vin Diesel wasn't in the second one?
Nope.
It was just him and
It was Paul
Tyre-
Walker
Tyreek?
and Tyrese.
Tyrese.
And the third one,
Tyrese?
nobody was in it.
Tyrese Gibson?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then it was Tokyo Drift.
Mhm.
And now there's another one coming out.
They're scheduled for 2 more.
Fast 9, Furious 9.
But yeah, Bad Boys 3 should be out next year, and the following year, Bad Boys 4 should be out.
Yeah, Martin Lawrence hasn't done a whole lot since last time he was in Bad Boys. That's pretty much like he was big, man. He was really had like a career ahead of him, and then he just kind of disappeared. Yeah, he was huge with Martin, and he was hilarious. And then like he did a
I
couple
wouldn't say
of
that.
crappy movies.
I wouldn't say he was hilarious in Martin.
He
He
himself
was,
was hilarious.
stomachable in Martin.
He himself was funny. Everything I've seen him in, I love him. I think he's just funny. But he did some really bad movies. His stand up is awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was, and I liked Martin. Martin was a funny show for me. But and then he did what was the one, Dark Knight, Black Knight,
Black
something
Knight.
like that. Black Knight, not that great of a movie. It was pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to see he's back in. I mean, he's got to be in Bad Boys, right?
Yeah.
Like
he
there's
is.
no Bad Boys without him.
Uh-huh. I love Bad Boys 2 than Bad Boys 1.
You like the second one better?
Mhm.
I don't know. I like them both independently.
Bad
equally.
Boys 1 was kind of annoying.
I didn't see it that way. Bad Boys 2 had some better moments, but
They had a lot of racial humor.
well, it's like this. It's like Blade. The first Blade movie was awesome,
Mhm.
but if you go back and watch it, it really didn't have like it wasn't as great as you remember it to be. And I think Bad Boys was the same thing. Like it was a really good movie. It just wasn't done exceptionally well. So when
Blade
the second
2
one came out, it was just so much more. It had so much more budget that it was able to be a better movie that it kind of overshadowed the first one.
Blade 2 was good, but it wasn't the best. And then Blade 3 was just crap.
I love Blade 3 is my favorite Blade.
You love Blade 3 because of Ryan Reynolds.
I love Blade 3 because the way the story went. Yes, Ryan Reynolds was, and I like everything Ryan Reynolds is in, and Jessica Biel is fun to look at.
Yeah. Because
I'm always a fan
my
of her.
issue with 3 was I feel like they jumped the shark. Like, I liked the storyline, but the way they got rid of Whistler...
You kind of had to move in that direction, though.
Yeah, but they give him that group and then we'll just wipe the whole group out. That was kind of meh.
I liked it. I didn't. Was Blade 2 the one where they CG? They did.
Yeah.
They did a lot of CG. It looked terrible.
Yeah,
The
they
CGI
gummied-
in it
they
was
gummied them.
horrible. When he's jumping around and bouncing off the fences
Mhm.
and stuff, it looked bad. But the story, I don't remember being that bad.
No.
But 3 was my favorite Blade.
There's a TV show, and it was garbage. I didn't even watch it because I was told it was so bad.
Of the Blade, you know what? I did see that. It was on Netflix or something, but I didn't watch it. I just saw that it was there. But that's what there was another one too that came out around that time also, of, like one of the movies. I can't remember what it was now. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. So moving on. What other TV shows? I've been watching a lot of Netflix. You know what I'm watching lately is Shameless.
I haven't been watching anything lately.
Oh, if you like just ridiculously, like if you like drama, if you like cliffhangers, if you like shows that are just degenerate and about unsavory people, Shameless is the show to watch.
I've been told that.
It's so good and it's so intriguing and the characters are just... Every time you think they can't go any further down the rabbit hole, they become worse people. Like, it really is about just, like... And not all of them, like really the William H. Macy, whom everything I've ever seen him in, he's always like this kind of like... You really want to love him as a person. Like, even when he's not good, he's great. And he's an awesome actor. I put him up there with the tops. Like, he's up there with Tom Hanks and Gary Oldman and a handful of the other just great actors. William H. Macy is an amazing actor. And to watch him play this degenerate dirtball of a man and this just...
But he was a shoveler.
Yes! Right, and he's such a corny character in that one. And then you watch him as Frank Gallagher in Shameless and you're like... You truly believe he's that horrible of a person.
Mhm.
And he's William H. Macy. I bet he's probably one of the most, in real life, I bet he's probably one of the most lovable people you've ever met.
I bet you he is the scum of the earth.
I think if you watch Shameless, you would believe it full-heartedly, though. But yeah, I love William H. Macy, and the whole show is just great. And he's really the most in that show. He's like the one that you watch and you go, that's the one you expect to be a horrible person. Everybody else you kind of have higher expectations for. So when they do something wrong, and the girl that plays that Emmy Rossum, her. Something about her. She's absolutely nothing that I would ever find attractive in a woman. Like, she's so far from my type, and yet I'm in love with her. We talked before about, many, many episodes ago of our show, we talked about being attracted to someone after watching them play a role. Oh! I remember this!
You're like, that never happens to me.
Emmy Rossum is my girl. That's the one. That's the one that I watch her in that show, and I hate her. I kind of hate her.
For the audience listeners, I'm pointing with two fingers with a hateful, mean-mugging look in my face.
Absolutely right.
Going, ha!
You were absolutely 100% right.
I knew it. I knew it.
She proved it. She is my moment of clarity on.
Folks,
you are right.
Mark the state down in your calendar. And he called this back, not me.
I did. I own up to it. I will admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong. She absolutely. I'm in love with her.
So, how does it feel? Do you feel betrayed?
Well, it depends. If I ever get the chance to meet Emmy Rossum, I'm gonna feel totally fine about it.
I'm saying, but do you feel betrayed about your conviction?
By myself? No.
Your conviction about how it doesn't matter the role, but now.
No, you know what though? I'm not saying I was wrong, because I am indefatigable. So I will protest it to death that I'm not. I don't think I ever really truly said that you can't have that emotion. You can't have.
No, you said
I didn't have.
You said you don't.
I didn't. Now I have. I've evolved. I've grown. I've matured. Yeah, she's not. She by no means is she. She's a pretty enough girl, but I mean she's a smoker. She's just not the things that I look for. She's not as voluptuous. She's not as innocent looking. She's not. She's kind of got like a hardened.
You know who?
She really plays that character.
You know who I noticed the other day?
Who's that?
So we went to see Baywatch.
Okay, how was that?
It was corny. It was great. It was one of those movies where you knew what you're getting into, but you enjoyed it anyway.
And watching the preview, it either looks like it's going to be super terrible or really good, and I kind of hope that it's really good. Because, one, I love Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne The Rock Johnson is great.
The Dario?
Oh, yeah. What's she in? I've seen her in stuff before, too.
I love her. She's in the Chainsaw Massacre. She's in Percy Jackson.
Maybe that's what
I never saw her in Los Angeles, but I was cruising Facebook.
That's what I remember from. I saw her in Los Angeles.
I was watching a thing on YouTube, and it was like a tribute video to her. I'm like, oh, let's see that. I didn't realize I knew her from so much stuff. I think she's my new crush. Yeah,
she's another one. She's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But
and she's done with it.
And she's not your type?
Nope. Well, she kind of is, but not.
Yeah, but she's not hard to look at.
Nope.
Not by a long shot. Well, now that we perved out, I think we should call it the end of this episode.
Yeah.
We seem to always end on a really creepy note lately. Why are the past several episodes are just like, we do a whole show and then it gets a little bit uncomfortable and we get out of there.
Well, I think that's good that we don't have to keep going.
No, but like that's how people walk away remembering us as those creepy guys that are like we're like the ones that are oogling girls and stuff. Like we're the kind of like at the end of the show we are those guys that girls cross the street to not have to walk past. Like that's basically what we are. So. And on that note, good night, everybody. Make sure to like and join us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and why do we have so much? We've done 1,000 episodes. Why can't we need to write these down so we can just read them.
I don't need to write them down.
All right, then you do it.
Like and subscribe, comment on Facebook, Twitter.
Oh my God, could you be less enthusiastic about that? Like you don't want them to do it now. Please like and subscribe to us.
Because I'm just proving that my brain is shut off, and I'm just rattling off all the places we are.
Yoler. Join us next time here on StreamOfConsciousnessPodcast.com.
Good night, folks.